going on, everybody? Welcome to the Shaping Your New Start Education podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Phil 2, and I'm so excited that you've decided to join us this evening. Listen, everybody, before we get into the show, we just want you to please like, subscribe, and share this video. We'd love for you to go to our YouTube channel, Shaping Your New Start, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We'd love for you to go to our Facebook page, Shaping Your New Start. Subscribe there. And also follow me on Dr. Phil _2. We want to give a word from our sponsors, okay? So we're going to talk about We Need More Clouds. This is a book written by my wife, Lynette S. Wesley, and we're talking about blended families. So we want you to go out and support this book. All you have to do is go to the website, weneedmoreclouds.com. Weneedmoreclouds.com, and you can order your autograph copy. All you have to just say, hey, listen, I need this autograph. Make sure you order your autograph copy of We Need More Clouds. And guess what? When you order from there, you also get a bonus. So make sure you go there and get We Need More Clouds, a book written for blended families. Also, guess what? Yours truly has written a book, 6 Ways to Shape Your New Start. 6 Ways to Shape Your New Start. All you have to do is go to drphil.com/ebook. This is a guide for educators and students. And guess what? Anybody who's looking to reshape their purpose, reshape the direction in their life, we love for you to go to drphil2.com/ebook and download your free copy. Listen, it is a free resource for you. So you don't have to pay. Just download this book and set yourself free, move into the next purpose of your life, because we want to make sure that you go forward in your life. Don't delay, because guess what? This is the time to reset your life. 6 Ways to Shape Your New Start by Dr. Phil 2. And I'm so excited because guess what? I got an author that I'm going to bring to you in just a moment. I'm too excited to bring him on. But check this out, everybody. We'd love for you to please like, subscribe, and share this video at this moment. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the Shaping Your New Start Education podcast. I want to introduce my guest, Associate Dean for the College of Engineering at the Villanova University. Please, everybody, welcome Dr. Stephen Jones. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing fantastic. Our words came out wrong. I'm so glad to be here, Dr. Phil, too. And we're going to talk about some wonderful topics today. And I appreciate the opportunity.
Awesome. Tell me, what got you into engineering in the first place? Like, how did you get here?
Well, it's amazing. I worked for a program for first-generation low-income college students out of the state of Pennsylvania. And I would say God placed me in a place that was different than I even expected, because I thought that I would come out of college and work in the community, but God gave me a community on my college campus.
Wow.
And so these first generation low income students I've been working with for the whole 37 years that I've been involved, and it's just been a passion to see them understand what's necessary to be successful as a student.
Tell me about your journey in engineering, and then I want to go into that helping, low income. Tell me about your journey first in engineering.
Yeah. So, what in terms of the first university I worked with, those students were largely in the sciences area. So that was kind of the start. I was helping students who wanted to go into chemistry, into physics, into the various sciences that were offered there. And because I had done that work and helping students, because it's not easy when you go into the sciences, you're in the math area, it's not easy. And so I was helping them to do their adjustment at a college called Philadelphia College of Textiles and Science. And I started there. And because I know I needed to get promoted and move into another type of job, I started looking around, and I fell into opportunity at Drexel University, which has about 6,000 engineering students. So when they saw I had the background in the sciences and working with science students, they felt that it would be a good opportunity when I applied to actually have me direct the program. So I had responsibility for about 200 engineering students. That was my start. And then working with them, showing them the study habits, making sure they had enough of a background to do it, and working with the whole staff that supported me in doing that work at the same time. So I was just not in it by myself. I also had partners, and I made the students partners because I had students working with me as tutors and mentors to all the new engineering students that would come into the university. And we would kind of really work as a team to ensure that everyone was graduating.
That's great. I had a boys to men group last night, and I said we're gonna take a break from all the talk, chit chat, and we played Kahoot. But I
Oh,
chose science for one of the topics, and
okay.
I got most of the questions wrong. I'm like, oh man, what term is this? But I'm so excited about science. I would have been a scientist if it didn't have so much to do with math. You know what I mean? If
Well,
math wasn't a major equation of science, I'd have probably gone into it. But I do love, just the essence of science, whether it's
mhm,
health science, whether it's, in the space, astronauts and all kind of things. Right there in DC, I go to the Air and Space Museum just to kind
yes.
of just be in the atmosphere of it all. How important is it for students to choose science, regardless of which direction, engineering or even health? How important is it for students to choose that as a study?
It is really critical in terms of their success. There's some studies that show that students who have high math ability and science ability graduate from college at a higher rate. So I think it is the discipline, the organization, the problem solving that you learn as a person that thinks from a math or science perspective that helps students to succeed when they go further. And so that's a tremendous benefit there. But it's also a benefit because we need more math and science students who will then go further and become physicians, dentists, lawyers, just taking all those skill sets that they're learning and use it at higher levels when they get into higher education.
Yeah, that's powerful. I agree. I agree. So listen, students, if you're thinking about something, consider science as a direction, not only as your study, but your career space, and let's go forward in that. I as a student, I also worked as a recruiter, and then even a little bit after I finished school,
Hmm.
I was a recruiter for my college, and I worked hard,
Yes.
went out there, I can spit facts about my school just
Hmm.
like that. Now, as an administration, administrator, assistant superintendent for schools, I find myself kind of back at recruiting again, and um, trying to enthuse more people in education, and getting the students in, and then going into the classroom and motivating
Hmm.
students.
Hmm.
As an associate dean for yourself, you have this passion for preparing students, not only for college, but also for life. How important is preparation to you?
Yeah, I think at all those levels, at the K-12 level, and of course at college. And I wrote down a couple of things and wanted to share those for the high school students that are listening and the parents that are listening. what are things that they could be doing, because there's a process that you're going through to get to where you want to be, but you need to be equipped for that success. And so I found a lot of students don't read as much as they used to read, but reading is still critical for your success, whether you're talking about the sciences or engineering. Creating instructions and following instructions are a part of that. So having the ability, and I tell the high school students, if you're reading now, try to double the reading that you're doing. Because I
Mm.
find that a lot of times when they get to college, they don't have that habit and discipline, and they really struggle the first semester because they have never had to read that much. And I think with COVID-19, students have been reading even less. So I think that that's one of the things that students can work on to as part of their success, and that leads into your career, because there'll be a lot of writing, there'll be a lot of giving presentations, and the clearer that you can be in doing that, the more valuable you'll be to the company that you work with.
Absolutely. When I hear students talk about, all these papers they have to write and
Mhm.
all the things that they have to do, I'm like, hey, that's part of the direction that you're going in life. You're going to have to write. And, when I tell people about writing books, hey, this is part of the process.
Mhm.
So you're learning even to write a book and to bring that later on into your life and your career.
Yeah, absolutely. And then, as we were talking about earlier, the math component.
Yeah.
Math is everywhere. Even if let's say you're a video game person, right? You
Hmm.
really are into video games. There's a lot of math and physics behind the development of those games. There's a lot of programming behind it. So the discipline in math helps you with that. For the young people that are interested in those fields, esports, that's another area that, understanding how to do the programming and the formulas behind it is important. So just connecting, I think it's important for young people to connect the education to the opportunity. The more prepared
Mm.
I am in a given area, the more doors that are open for me, the more I can present myself as having a certain level of expertise, because I've gotten the training that was necessary in that.
I
So I
like that. Connect education to opportunity. Yeah, I like that. I
think,
like that. We got to put that in. We got to put that right there. Got to put that right there. And
yeah.
listen, everybody, I'm going to pause to just promote his website. Listen, go to drjonesbooks.com. You'll find a variety of books that will tell you how to study, how to get ready, how to be prepared. So you definitely want to check out his website, drjonesbooks.com. Yes, sir. So, reading, that's a great component right there. And you find it rare to see so many people that like to read, but,
Mhm.
that is, and we have time to read, and we have the ability to read. It's just some of us use so many excuses why we don't.
Yes. Well, and it's really interesting because they sometimes they ask educators, how much reading are you doing? And we have to hold ourselves accountable. We want our students and our children to be reading. We as educators need to be reading and developing ourselves on an ongoing basis as well.
That's right. That's right. Absolutely. So, how else can we be prepared? Now, one of the things I tell high school students getting into college, check your status every semester. And because I've had family and I've known people that, after a while, some colleges, some universities, you get the okey doke.
Mhm.
Oh, I didn't know I was supposed to take that class. Oh, I didn't know I was supposed to have this credit ready. Let's talk about how important it is to really, even when you get there, check your status every semester.
Yeah, I think that's critical. You have an advisor. What typically happens, the students have an advisor. They didn't have that in high school. They might have had a counselor, but they didn't have an advisor that they were supposed to meet with on a regular basis. But that meeting is not required. So I say to students, you need to meet with your advisor more than once a semester when you're doing your classes. You need to do it prior to that so you can have conversations about how things are going in the current classes and how that's leading to the opportunity to take the right classes the next semester. Like that's part of planning. Again, it's a skill set that you're now developing for work, that you're planning for your future and you're reviewing your progress as you go along. And you can see that in the GPA. One of the tips I was going to give today is to make sure you get to know all your faculty. A lot of times students go to college, they never meet their faculty in their offices. And there's students who are getting A's and B's, they're going to meet their faculty. The faculty have office hours, which are hours that you can go meet with them, go over preparation for a test or a quiz, ask questions where you feel lost, get connected with them to get research opportunities. They're often paying research opportunities with faculty on the college campus. And another thing is that faculty person knows other faculty persons. So they're telling them that you're networking with them, you're asking them questions, and you're building a reputation for your success.
And that might also help with those who are just coming in with liberal arts. They don't really know what direction they're going. They don't really understand their purpose and
Mhm.
and why they're going in that direction. So getting to know faculty can actually help make decisions.
Yes, I mean, they can share with you the variety of careers that they've talked to their alumni about. They've met with them and tell them, I use liberal arts to do this or to do that. So you definitely want to ask them. Oh, and that brings up another important resource on the college campus, the Career Center. So you can get
Mm.
information from them, talking to them the whole 4 years. You can connect with the Career Center on various types of people that come through, various types of companies that come through, internship opportunities. But sometimes students wait to see the Career Center their senior year in college. So that is definitely the wrong time to go see the Career Center. From the first semester, most colleges have a career day where there's companies that come visit. Even if you don't think you're going to get an internship, go. You never know what might happen out of that. And so that's something that you can start from day one. Secondly, it will motivate you by going and talking to them. You'll say, oh, they'll start talking with you about different careers. It will
Mhm.
motivate you to do well academically because that's what's going to open doors. And you can see that there's a possibility because you've talked with some of these companies.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And you never know what might inspire the direction, the next direction. It's kind of like that, oh, I met this professor and I really wanted to go in this direction. How many students have you really found come in unprepared? Not a number, but have you found that it's a significant number of unprepared students that come to college?
Oh yes, it's a pretty significant number. It would depend on what schools they came from and how they were prepared. And so, I would say very often the urban universities uh, find students that they need to have summer programs, summer prep programs. But even some of the suburban universities had to have these summer prep programs for students to adjust to college. And I just want to say to the parents out there, it's a good thing if your son or daughter can participate in a summer program, because that way, if they do have some deficits, they can work on them the summer before they start, and somebody can have their eye on them in terms of what additional needs. I think it's the worst thing ever to have 50% of your students go off to college and then 50% of them drop out after the first or second semester. And
Mm.
that has happened. um, I think it's something like in the Black community, um, out of every 10 college students, African American women that go, six of them graduate, and I believe of the African American men, four of them graduate on time.
What,
So
what what do you think is the biggest challenge with that?
I that's why I wrote my book on study habits. I think study habits is the biggest challenge, that they
Mm.
really never had to study to be organized, to have a schedule that they follow. and they still got A's and B's from their high schools. Well, now it requires a whole different level of organization, managing your time, not procrastinating, doing the research papers, and students get overwhelmed and they find out that their writing skills are not as good as they thought they were. And
Mm.
they have to be willing to be humble and say, I need help. That's often a challenge too, that students have never needed to ask for help. And they think it's saying that they're less prepared. So that kind of cycles into I won't go to get help because if I show that I'm less prepared, then maybe I shouldn't have really been here in the first place. And I say, throw all that in the trash. Go get help. Go get the resources you need so that you can be successful.
That's
That's
right. There
the
we
thing that
go.
you need to do.
Listen, you want to check out 7 secrets on how to study. You definitely want to go to drjonesbooks.com. You definitely want to go there and check out the books he has to help you get ready. I believe that this is a crucial topic. This is much needed in our communities, as we can, talk about being ready and being prepared. So we see the challenge of, students coming in, and you're right, it depends on which high school, where do they go. So that guess what that means, we need educators to prepare.
Mhm.
In
Yes.
certain areas, we need educators to even be better prepared to prepare
Mhm.
our students as they go to the next level. What's one step that we can do to prevent dropouts, or at least to reclaim the dropouts?
I think it's really important to there are people, there are tutors in a number of different areas. I think it's really important to connect with that the help that's available. Don't allow yourself not to approach the help that's available, and don't wait until the last minute. A lot of students, they'll say, "Oh, I earned a D, but down the road I'll get better." But by the time you figure that out, now you have a second D. Um, and I know you may have never seen a D in your life, but in college you can get your first D or your first C. But I say to every student, go to the tutors the moment you get your first test back and you see it's a C or less. That's a moment to use the wisdom to go get a tutor. And the same thing in high school. Your teacher might offer you to come in early. They might offer you to come eat lunch with them, just to get the tutoring help, or even after school. It's worthwhile for you to invest the additional time for you to get the grade that you want and get the support that you want and be more knowledgeable. So why not take advantage of that? And at the college level, your tuition is paying for it.
That's right. That's right. And as a student, I didn't take it as seriously until I had to go to math and reading remedial classes in college.
Mm,
And it was like basic classes that really didn't go towards a lot of my credits and, something to get, but it got me jump started. I will say
mhm,
it got me jump started. I took an English class. A magazine editor came in, saw the poem I wrote, and published my first poem
oh,
in a magazine.
amazing.
And that started me in a new trend. Like, I wanted to be a rap artist, but I didn't understand being a poet could be something of value at that
Mhm,
time. When I got to my next level of education, went to another college. After that, my sophomores and junior and senior year, I wrote my own poetry magazine. I had poetry, artwork, short story, and that catapulted me into my communication degree,
mhm,
and so many other things. So sometimes, it just takes that one person to give that student hope, give
mhm.
inspiration, and now you've been given grace. And you catapult that. Now, 4 degrees later, I'm where I am, right? But
Amen.
sometimes you can start off, and it's not really, sometimes students struggle not because of where they came from or their environment. They just chose not to focus.
Mhm,
They just chose not to be focused in the right area. But we need to help boost the focus and let them know, no, these are opportunities. Don't waste it. Don't be like me and have to do an extra semester at the end of college days, so that you can catch up. And, I did winter classes. I did as many classes as I could to get back to my purpose, to boost where I was. I finished with 2 degrees undergrad. My mother got on me and was like, hey, listen, you know what? You need to come out with two. We
Uh-huh.
ain't paying all this money for you to come out with one.
Yes.
And they eventually came out with two. But, we want to inspire students. Take it seriously, from K to 12. I've told my daughters already, listen, you take education serious, the world is yours.
Mm-hmm. And I was thinking about when you were talking, meant the importance of mentors. And there's again research that shows that students who have a mentor in high school graduate at over 95% rate. So for the parents who are listening, again, find your student a mentor. That mentor could be a college student, that mentor could be a professional,
That's
that
right.
mentor could be a business person, but having that outside voice. And here's the thing, I know this from my own experience. The mentor could say the same thing that you said as a parent, and your child will listen. And you look and say, I just said that to them. And suddenly the bell goes off for them. Well, really, you were planting the seed that someone came along and watered. And because you expose them to these different individuals. And the way that you can do that at the college level is a lot of colleges have guest speakers. Go to the guest speakers that are happening on campus and get their business card, and then you can communicate back and forth with them. You might find another mentor. There are faculty on the campus who will like what you're doing and what you're saying. They'll love to be your mentor. So having these additional people to support you is a critical part of your success as you're going through as well.
That's key right there. Mentorship, mentorships. And so, maybe education systems need more mentors to help these students along. I try to do my best when I go visit schools, but, I'm in and out. But we need mentors that are there on a consistent basis. And, it was kind of unofficial mentors that got me through
Mm-hmm.
and help me determine my focus and my drive. So having friends that hold you accountable, that's another key. you know you can have a mentor, but you should also surround yourself with friends that are going to hold you accountable. They're going in the same direction as you. They're
Right.
pushing you. They're not telling you what you're doing is overstepping them. They're not, making you feel bad for striving for the highest goal. You need friends that are like, no, you need to do this.
Mm-hmm.
Even if it's just for us, you need to go forward and, achieve your highest success.
And one of the things that I ask teachers, if they don't mind doing this when I go to schools, put out the name of the college that they attended on outside of their door, so that especially in the high school level, if even if the student isn't taking your class, they'll know, yeah, yes, you did go to Temple University, you did attend the University of Oregon, whatever, just for them. And also it reminds them that you did go to college as their
That's true.
teacher. um, it's a good opportunity to strike up a conversation and share with them if they're going to visit that school, and you could tell them about your experiences. So I think it's really good when teachers, principals, vice principals put that out there, the colleges that they attended.
Wow, that's powerful. That's powerful. I like that idea. I'm going to bring it to my teachers as well. I'm gonna use that. That's a great idea. And the key is we want our scholars ready. We want them ready. I try as much as possible to call my students scholars.
Mm-hmm.
I try to place the highest form of compliment to them. I find that there's some students struggling with self-esteem, self-worth. They don't think they're worthy of the highest grade. They don't think that they're worthy of success. They think it's just for somebody else who they think is smarter. But there's so many bright students out there that don't think they're smart.
Yeah.
They just haven't learned how to apply it.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's part of that preparation.
Yeah, and words are powerful. The
Yes,
words that people are sharing with young people all day long can turn them on and turn them off. And using words of encouragement, the students can tell when you care. Um, we just moved from one building at our university to a building across the street. Like this intersection has 4 or 5 different ways that cars are coming into it. So I'm concerned about the students across the street, even though they're college students. But because I have relationships with them, because they understand that I care, they've been crossing and coming over to see me. And I think that's what you want. You want students who will cross over because they're connected to you and they understand that you value them, you value the gifts and the talents that they have, and they're going to be willing to learn from you if you're taking the time to develop that relationship with them as well. And students talk to other students.
yes, yes, yes. They say, hey, listen, this is who you want to take. This is the class you want to take. These are the people you want to get to. This is the class you want to avoid.
Yes.
So I can definitely imagine them saying, hey, listen, you got to go to Dr. Jones. You got to go to Dr. Jones. Well, this has been amazing. You've given some great tips. Is there anything else you wanted to say towards preparation?
Yes, just one other thing to work with. Again, I'm thinking about high school students, middle school
Yeah.
students.
Okay.
The big word is procrastination. Please help them with procrastinating. Sometimes the middle school teachers and the high school teachers kind of baby the students and allow them to procrastinate and turn things in late. And then they get to college and think they can use and do the same thing. And they get affected. Their grades get affected. Their projects get affected. So if there's one habit that you can work with them on while they're in high school, is procrastination, getting things done on time, organizing and planning things ahead of time, having the resources so that they can be successful. And procrastination also affects their ability to do well on tests because they're always waiting till the last minute and studying on the bus on the way to school. When my strategy is always study 4 or 5 days before every test. But you can't do that if you're procrastinating and waiting till last minute. So I would just encourage those who are out there to really work on that skill set. And I'm confident that you can do it because I've met a lot of students that have been able to overcome that.
That is so key. As a matter of fact, I have a principal who's strict about procrastination. He's strict about coming late in the building. I've come into the building and I'm like, why are you still out here? I'm late. I'm like, well, why are you late? And you have a test today? Oh, no. I said, listen, I got up at 5 o'clock this morning to get here. You are not, you have no excuse.
Mm-hmm.
None. So I get it. Procrastination, I've experienced it, but no much better. Hey, listen, you know what? It's better when you prepare way ahead of time, and you make things great. So that is key in being prepared. And I'm telling you, it goes a very long way because some professors are not going to cut any slack. They don't have time for that. They don't have time for grown kids to say, oh, well, in using all these excuses. They do not have time for that. So, that's a key point right there.
And one other aspect of it, I know we're continuing to talk, but when you go out to work in corporate America, let's say you're doing $1 million proposal. That
Yeah.
$1 million proposal is due tonight. The last time you can submit it as 11:59 p.m. tonight. If you've been procrastinating on that research that you're supposed to do to add to the proposal, and now you're trying to do it, and you turn it in late 12:01, the proposal will not be accepted. So just breaking these habits is really important to your success.
Oh, absolutely. That's a key point right there. You do not. In fact, I asked a student, I said, well, what's your main challenge? Oh, procrastination. I said, well, hey, listen, that's part of social and emotional learning. You are self-aware. You are self-aware. So come on, let's get with that. Let's get over that. And let's get to success. Let's empower that because you can do it. I'm glad. I was happy she answered very honestly, like,
Uh-huh.
okay, so that tells me you have a lot more to offer. You just need to get there.
Mhm.
Well,
Mhm.
thank you, Dr. Jones, so
Thank
much
you.
for
Thank you.
spending time with us on the Shaping Your New Start Education podcast. Everybody, check out his website, drjonesbooks.com, drjonesbook.com. Whether you're listening, you can go to his website and you can check out his books about being prepared. He has some other life lessons on that website, so you're going to learn a lot. Make sure you, let's go over these points. Make sure you read. Make
Mm.
sure reading is part of your system, K through 12 students. We want to make sure that reading, when you get to college, you want to get to know your faculty, get to know your faculty where you are right now, get to know that career center. Make sure you connect your education to opportunity, and please don't procrastinate. Okay. Do not procrastinate. And everybody, listen, do not procrastinate to go and like and share and subscribe to our YouTube channel, Shaping Your New Start. Do not procrastinate and go and get my book, drphil2.com/ebook. This book will change the course of your life. We want to make sure that you shape a new start. It's okay to start over. You've been procrastinating, but now you have a new start.
Mhm.
Now you can begin working on things faster and quicker now. We want to make sure you do that. So thank you so much. Let's put up your Instagram uh, handle, ED Central. And we want to make sure go follow Dr. Jones right here. Is that correct?
That's
I have it
correct.
correct. Okay.
That's correct.
Follow Dr. Jones, ED_Central, and see the content that he's putting out there. And thank you so much to you. We hope that you and Villanova have much success, and we decrease the dropouts but increase the drop-ins.
Yes.
All right, that's our goal. All right, thank
All
you
right.
everybody for showing up and supporting Shaping Your New Start Education podcast. We've been going for a little while, and we just thank you for your continued support. Continue to like, subscribe, and share this video. Like our YouTube page, subscribe to our YouTube page, Shaping Your New Start. And always, always get ready to shape your new start, because your new start starts with you. Take care, everybody.